Hey, what's going on? Pastor Mathew here. I am in the studio right now at the church. One of the things that I loved about this building is that when I was looking at places, when I saw this one, I saw the space that it just had in the back, right? And there's an extra room and there's another room back there. So we use this as the media production room. So anytime that we're filming something, have to do editing, I come back here to do all the editing, the mixing, and also have the keyboard. So this is a film studio, editing studio, and also a recording studio. So if there's any original songs or any composition that I need to do, I sit at the keyboard. I spend so much time in here because this is where I come in to clean up things, to improve on things. As the church, we lack quality. I see so many churches that they're just winging it, you know. And I've been in the film production, music production for a while, especially the film production. And when you look at the quality that the world has and you look at the quality that the church has, it's like night and day. It looks different. I know a lot of churches say things like, we're doing the best we can. And, no, you're not. You're really not, because we put so much emphasis on other things, but we don't put emphasis on quality. And that's something that I love because I want to produce something that's quality. So I spend a lot of time. And matter of fact, this is where I spend the majority of my time. It's almost 2:30, almost 3 o'clock right now. And this is the time that I like to work because it's quiet. It's always quiet in here, even throughout the day. But right now, there's nothing going on, and I can just focus and, get the work done to make sure any type of like voiceovers, cleaning things up. Excuse me. So when we do the live shows, right, I can be able to come back here. It's being recorded to one of these devices here. So all that stuff get recorded in this CFS card. Then I put it in the system, do some cleaning, do some editing, give it a little bit of touch, And I really encourage other churches, especially, take time in your production, I would rather you wait to get quality stuff, right, than to just consistently put out the same garbage out there. Really, you know. And I know people say, we don't have to budget for this, we don't have to do this, but if you're really serious about getting quality stuff, you would, because when you look at your own stuff, you do more quality stuff for you. But when it comes to the house of the Lord, it's like, well, let's just wing it. We got to stop winging it, winging it, and want to be able to put the time. So I had a vision that I want to be able to control the narrative. If you live listen, in the world that we're living today, if you don't control the narrative, someone else will. And most of the times, the narrative that they are portraying out there is not going to be right. But if you don't have any say, you have nothing you can do about it. So those that control the media always control the masses. And that's why we see today that the media has so much power. With just one short clip, you can get people to panic about just about anything. You can get people excited. You can get them nervous. You can get them crying. You can get them whatever it is that the media put out there. So we're going to be launching our own streaming platform soon. I've been working on some stuff, and I'll let you guys know a little bit about that later on. But again, the reason for this is we have to control the narrative. We can't just sit back and let people portray, the Lord in a way that's not right. And all we do is complain. Man, church folk, we are so good at complaining. We are so good at, just sitting there. We'll blame everybody else except take responsibility for what we need to do. So I do some for businesses and churches that want to get that professional touch. I love spending time in this because being a creative person, I'm able to think, I don't just do things that's in the box. Like I think outside the box when I'm working on projects and being able to color grade it, be able to edit. And then if I need to create some music, right, I can sit there and in my head, I can just be able to come up with something and just play something. And I thank God for the gift of creativity. Creative people, we think outside the box a lot, so we're not confined in that box. And if you're a creative person, I really hope that this year you're going to utilize that creativity. You're going to take advantage of that because God gave you that for a reason. And I noticed too is that when you are a creative person, especially in the ministry, you attract other creative people because they can see, like, listen, quality attracts quality. If what your church is doing is not quality, you're going to attract the people that don't want quality, and they're going to just stay subpar. They're going to do the same thing, and it won't look great. And I made a decision that even before I started this church, got back in the ministry again. I had been doing video film production for a while, since 2010. And I actually started doing music before that. So I started playing the piano when I was, 15, 16. I just stuck with it. And I'm glad that today I'm able to use the gifts and talent that God has given me for the Lord. We produce a lot of stuff in here. We have so many things that we're going to be producing in this, room right here. Podcasts, we're doing podcasts, which is really getting bigger and bigger. My daughter's working on a podcast now with a friend, and I'm going to be helping them to produce it. We're going to, record everything in here. We're going to shoot everything here. So the podcast is going to have the video and the audio. So it's going to be on, Apple Podcasts and other platforms. And the reason for that is we have to control the narrative. We can't just sit there and all we do is complain. Church folk, we are great at that. All we do is complain. Why is this? How come this? Why this? But yet, we don't take that stance to, what, let me go out there. So even for me, I've been doing this for a while, but I'm always still learning. Always learning, always growing. I still take classes even to this day because I want to keep improving my craft. The Bible talks about playing skillfully. I want to do things skillfully for the Lord. So when I play, I spend a lot of time practicing. Like when I played, I got my degree in music. When I was in college, I used to spend 6 to 8 hours a day sometimes just playing because it takes a lot of work when you're doing music. Like you have to really practice, do your scales, do your runs, do your chords, do your fingers, like all those things require time and patience. And I think that's something that when it comes to production in the church, that's not a priority for a lot of churches. We'll spend money on everything else. But when it comes to the type of cameras that we're using, we have no clue the type of lenses we need to get. When it comes to the audio, like the audio setup that I got for the church, it was something that I did a lot of research, and I looked at a lot of different things to make sure that things were future proof. One of the reasons, or one of the things that I think about is, if you're going to do quality media work, you have to think about it being future proof, not just for the next, 1 year or 2 years, but you want to get something that down the line. So the cameras that I'm using right now, these are the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, the 4K ones. I don't really have to get the 6K right now because I don't really need it. Even for out there, we have 2 of those. Those produce great quality. What you're looking through right now, that's what's been filmed on. And I have my iPhone too, so if I need to get more, I have a mobile setup that if I need to get similar quality, I have a lens for this. But the point I'm saying is this. If you got a church, you got a ministry, you got a business, you got to think about quality. Up your quality. See, there's a certain group of people that I want this church to attract. Sometimes you go into certain churches You can tell the type of members that will be part of that church based on the quality of that church, based on the how things look, based on the word, just based on the leader, right? If the leader doesn't see quality as being important, doesn't invest in quality, he or she is going to attract people that don't prioritize quality at all, right? So that's why I invested over the years. I didn't get all this stuff at once. I got one year, I got a few things for this. Another year, I got this one. So when I got this board, I've had this editing panel now for since 2018, I believe. And when I bought this board, it was over $3,000 just for this board alone. Now, why would I spend $3,000 to buy something like this? Again, I didn't get everything at once. I saved up for that time, got this board, and then another time I got this iMac, the 5K 27-inch screen, and then got different things. But I always believe in buying one quality thing or two quality things that will last you for a long time. And people sometimes especially in the church, we want to go cheap. We'll buy the cheapest stuff, and then later on realize that in a year, you spend probably 3 times the amount that you spend buying the cheap things than if you just invested up front. So that's what I'm looking to avoid. And thank God so far that I've avoided that, that getting quality. So if you have a ministry, you have a church, you have a business, one of the things that we do here is we do work for ministries, for churches, for businesses that want to, take your production to the next level. I do all the editing here, the color grading, do the audio, do original composition. So if I got to create some songs, create some tunes, I write the music, write the chart, and I'm able to put all that stuff and utilize. I've been working on this little tune right here. But that's pretty much how it is. We gotta be better. We have to get better.